Welcome back to the 90 More podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to the brand new video. This is your weekend preview. We're going to be diving into all the action in the Premier League this weekend in March day 26. Man City take on Newcastle, Liverpool take on Man United, and Arsenal take on Bournemouth as well. So huge fixtures, very important fixtures as well. And of course, you've got to remember that Chelsea fans, this is one of the weekends where Graham Potter could be sacked or could actually remain in the job. So very, very huge preview coming up. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the podcast as well, and let me know your thoughts about all the games in the comment box below. Now, game number one is Manchester City taking on Newcastle on Saturday in the early kickoff. Manchester City are actually unbeaten in their last 4. They have lost 1 in the last 5, winning 3 and drawing 1 in their last 5. Newcastle are not a club in form. They've actually won 1 game in their last 5 in the Premier League. They did lose that Carabao Cup final, and it's going to be a very big question for Newcastle. How do they respond to that defeat? Do they actually get demoralized and throw away the season? Do they bounce back? Is that a turning point for them to bounce back and kind of feel like they want to play, they want to compete at a top level every single game? But for Manchester City, this is a game they cannot afford to lose. In midweek on Wednesday, Arsenal won their game 4 goals to nil against Everton. And that meant that they went 5 points clear of Manchester City with the same number of games played this campaign. So Man City sit in second, 55 points. Arsenal sitting in first at 60 points. It means that even if Manchester City win that game, they will close the gap on Arsenal, but they cannot go on top of the table. So what City have to do is keep on winning and then hoping that Arsenal will drop points later on in the season. But for now, it looks like City have to take matters in their own hands. Difficult game, in my opinion. I don't think Newcastle will win this game, but I don't see Manchester City winning this game as well. I tell you what, that Champions League fixture could actually have a lot of impact on Manchester City this weekend. They did draw 1-1 against RB Leipzig. I think their focus now is a little bit divided. They do have the UEFA Champions League and they have the Premier League to focus on. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I don't see Man City winning against Newcastle. Newcastle just have to do enough, defend well, create a few counterattacks probably, or create a few good situations and have a goal or 2 in that game. And they could actually walk away with a point. Of course, Newcastle, one of those quality sides in the Premier League right now. So Newcastle 2, Manchester City 2. In the first leg at the St. James Park, Newcastle had 3. Led that game 3 goals to 1, and of course Manchester City came back from behind to make it 3-3. This is another draw. I do not see Man City win this early kickoff. I just don't see it, right? They played very well in the last games, the last 2 games, winning 3-0 on both occasions against Bristol and Bournemouth. But this is a game where I feel like they will draw points. So Manchester City 2, Newcastle 2. If they win this one comfortably, Manchester City, they will have sent a statement. They will have sent out a statement, but until they do, I don't think they will win this game, to be honest. Game number 2 is Aston Villa taking on Crystal Palace. This is a game where I think, look, both teams are not actually doing very well. Aston Villa really are crumbling. Crystal Palace as well are not their best this campaign, to be honest. But I think, look, Villa are 11th in the Premier League table. Crystal Palace are around 6 points off the relegation zone. No much pressure. This is a game where I feel Aston Villa will win. I don't see Crystal Palace actually put up a fight. They had a chance to beat Liverpool, but they failed. They also had a chance to win a couple of games actually in their recent fixtures, but they failed. The problem with Crystal Palace is scoring goals, and ever since they lost Gallagher in that midfield, creativity has been a problem. Chances are not coming in thick and fast, and I think Patrick Vieira will either need to walk away or reinvest in this squad. I think he's a perfect manager for a perfect club. If they cannot back him, he's got to walk away. I mean, there are no two ways about it, in my opinion. Unai Emery's Villa, of course, in the last game, they did beat Everton 2-0. They're capable of picking up points. That is one of the things that you know with Aston Villa. They've won 2 of their last 5 and lost 3 of their last 5. Crystal Palace are also around there, so you kind of feel like this might be a draw, but I don't see Crystal Palace win. They have not won a game in their last 5, losing 2 and drawing 3. So this is not a game where I feel like Crystal Palace will win. They draw a lot of games, but I think it's one where you will have a lot of chances created by Aston Villa, and in the end, they will bury some of those chances and take the win. Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 2 at at the Villa Park. I don't see I don't see Crystal Palace go there and create a lot of problems for Aston Villa unless otherwise. Game number 3 is Arsenal taking on Bournemouth. Arsenal are really in fine form. In the last 3 games, they've actually won 3, collecting 9 points out of possible 9. But what is interesting about Arsenal is that their last 3 games, 2 of those have come away from home, and they've won them very, very comfortably. Arsenal back to the Arsenal we know, winning games, scoring goals, creating a lot of threat on the forward line. And I think this is a wrong game for Bournemouth this weekend. This is a very, very bad game for Bournemouth this weekend. But this is what I'm going to say. I think this is one of the games where we could see a shocker, like the one we saw against Nottingham Forest and Manchester City. This could be one where we see a shocker. Or it's one of those games where we could see a team being totally annihilated and obliterated. It's two-way. I think this Arsenal side right now, if they don't focus on the game coming up in the Europa League, they will annihilate Bournemouth. They are going to purely wash away Bournemouth from existence. It could be 6, it could be 7. And I'm going to go as strong as Arsenal 7, Bournemouth 0. And this is my reason. I looked at Bournemouth in the recent game they played against Manchester City. And in my opinion, I'm like, how? How are they this bad? How are they this poor? I don't think Manchester City played in the second gear or even in the third gear. I think it was too comfortable for Manchester City. Just holding out possession, doing a couple of things. And in that game, Bournemouth were at home. This one, they traveled to the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal have already beaten Everton 4-0. It could repeat. It could be another repeat of another annihilation by Mikel Arteta to another Premier League manager. So in this game, I'm going to be very frank. I don't think Bournemouth will have a say unless otherwise. Arsenal 7, Bournemouth 0. I could give them a go. Should I give them a go, Bournemouth? Should I give them a go? Should we go 7-1 or 6-1? I'm going to go 7-0. I'm going to go 7-0. If Arsenal don't win this game 7-0, I'll be shocked. I'll purely be shocked. But Arsenal 7, Bournemouth 0. Let us see goals flowing in, the floodgates opening this weekend in the Premier League. Now, game number 4, Chelsea take on Leeds United at exactly 6 p.m. This one is the game of the weekend. Now, according to what we've heard, Graham Potter has been given 2 games to make things right. The Dortmund game in the UEFA Champions League and the Leeds United game in the Premier League. Both of them come at the Stamford Bridge and they come in a space of 5-6 days. Listen, I think Chelsea fans will be out there thinking they can get nothing out of this game. This is a game where I think Chelsea will win. I'm going to back Chelsea in this game. I will back Chelsea. Look, they're really, really shit. They're really doing very, very poorly this campaign. But Leeds United are in the drop zone. They're 17th, 1 point, 1 precious point above the drop zone. If Chelsea cannot win against Leeds United and Southampton, 2 of the clubs in the drop zone, get him out. Simply get him out tonight. So, in my opinion, Chelsea will win this game. I'm going to back Chelsea. Chelsea 3. Where are the goals going to come from, though? Chelsea 2. They really have not convinced me that they can convert their XG in terms of goals, right? So, Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1. It's not going to be an annihilation. It will be comfortable for Chelsea because they are comfortable in possession. But the goals are always the problem. And they will concede. Of course, they always do. So Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1. Chelsea, I'm predicting you and backing you to get a win this weekend. If Chelsea don't get a win this weekend, it's going to be embarrassing. Leave alone Graham Potter being, the wrong manager. It's going to be purely embarrassing for a club at that level to fail to pick up points even in games where you expect them to. The last game, actually not the last game, a couple of other games are coming up. Still on Saturday, Brighton take on West Ham as well. This is an interesting one. Brighton have actually dipped off in terms of form a little bit, and they will be looking to bounce back to winning ways. West Ham won the last game in the Premier League against Nottingham Forest by 4-0. This is a real game. This is a very, very good game. Brighton sit 8th on the Premier League table. They've not won a game in their last 2, but in their last 5, won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. So you look at Brighton and you feel they're a quality side, they're a good side. They can really get something out of this game. But West Ham, who are happily out of the relegation zone, they sit only 2 points above Leeds United, who are actually out of the relegation zone as well. They'll be looking to continue their good form. I think this is a game where West Ham just need to go at the Brighton Stadium and pick up a point. It's just enough. It's the first draw I'm predicting this weekend, and David Moyes must be very, very smart. Don't go to Brighton, open yourself out, trying to find a second win in a row. You're going to be obliterated. You're going to be alienated there. For me, what they've got to do, get a point against Brighton. That is a vital point. Like, if they go against Brighton and pick up a point, that could be a season changer. That could be a season saver, in my opinion. So I'm going to go Brighton 1, West Ham 1. And I know it's a very difficult game. And I know it's not going to be one of those easy ones. But I'm going to go 1-1 in favor of 1-1, Brighton 1, West Ham 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers then will take on Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur have been in fine form of recent. Of course, they were knocked out of the FA Cup, for me, which was to their advantage. I don't know. Look, a couple of people feel like Tottenham Hotspur should win a trophy this season. I don't think their priority this season was winning a title. Like, they did nothing to show that they deserve winning a title in this season. They are going away at the Molineux against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves are a quality side. They are quite a decent side, and the new manager, Lopetegui. The problem with Tottenham is they are very inconsistent. They cannot pick up points, on a consistent basis. They beat Manchester City, and then they're blown away by Leicester, and then they come and pick up good points against Chelsea. But the second way, I think they will win it. They will win it. The problem with Wolverhampton Wanderers has not gone away. Scoring goals is still a big problem, even under Lopetegui. So Wolves 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Hurricane to score both goals. All right? I think, look, this is a time where Spurs, whatever they do, they have to picture in their mind, it is time for us to go and, claim the top 4. Liverpool are coming. I think Liverpool are around 6 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. And a few other clubs, including Newcastle. Newcastle with 2 games in hand is 4 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. So if Newcastle can win their both games in hand, they're above Newcastle and they're back in the top 4 race. So what Tottenham have to do is win every single fucking game that is winnable. And for me, Wolves at the Molineux, not an easy fixture, but highly winnable. Spurs 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. The last game of the weekend on Saturday, will be Southampton, Leicester City. Easy one for me, in my opinion. This is the easiest I've had to predict this weekend. Southampton 1, Leicester City 3. Leicester have had a couple of difficult fixtures ever since beating Tottenham Hotspur. They lost to Man United 3-0. Then they lost to Arsenal, 1-0 as well. But all those fixtures are difficult. You look at Man United, they're the best team in the Premier League since the World Cup, since the end of the World Cup. You look at Arsenal, they're the best team in the Premier League overall, better than Manchester City by a difference of 5 points as well. Okay, so you look at that and you're like, if Leicester City can recover, and they do need to recover, this is the game. So Leicester City, for me, 3-1 in favor of Leicester City. I think Southampton will go down, and I don't give them any chance, any chance this campaign, in my opinion. I don't really give them any chance. On Sunday, Nottingham Forest take on Everton. Easy win for Nottingham Forest. This is a game that they've got to win. I think why it is easy, it's I think Everton will have to open up. You cannot play that shitty low block against Nottingham Forest. They need the points, and this is the game where they've got to pick up the points. They're already in the relegation zone as well. So they will need at least 3 points to get out of the relegation zone this weekend. And I know Sean Dyche will open up, and that's why he's going to lose that game to Nottingham Forest. Forest have also dropped off, a little bit. But if they want to stay safe and stay in the Premier League, these are the kind of games they have to win. So for me, Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 0. It's not going to be a very big margin. It's going to be Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 0. Liverpool take on Manchester United. This is the biggest game, of course, of the weekend at the Anfield. Can Man United break all the records, continue winning game after game? They're really flying, aren't they? Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Sabitzer, everyone at Manchester United is looking very, very good. Liverpool on the other side, I think you've got to give them a lot of credit. They're also trying to crawl back into the top 4. In the last 4 games, they've not lost a single game, winning 3 and drawing 1. The last victory that came against Wolverhampton Wanderers, in my opinion, was the most important one. Because in that game, Liverpool had to show character. After drawing 0-0 with Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace being the better side, Liverpool had to show that we mean business, and the worst we will tolerate is at least a top 4 finish. So this one is going to be interesting. I'm going to tilt it in favor of Man United. I just believe in Eric Ten Hag a lot. I just believe he's a top manager. I just believe that right now it's hard to stop Man United. I look at how they win games, the way they win games, the nature, the resilience, the character, the passion they invest in a game. They will win this game. Man United 2, Liverpool 1, but that will not stop Liverpool from getting top 4. If they can continue winning at least 10 of their last 13 games, I think Liverpool will be just all right to get top 4. That will be around 69 points if they can win 10 games of their remaining 14 actually. So they do have a game in hand as well. So that, I think Liverpool don't win this weekend, but they will get top 4. I'm backing them and predicting them to get top 4. The last game of the weekend then is on Monday. Brentford take on Fulham. Brentford, I'm not really sure if they will have Ivan Toney, but this is a cracker. This is a cracker. What a week. What a week it's going to be. Brentford, Fulham on Monday. Tuesday, we have the UEFA Champions League. Wednesday, we have the UEFA Champions League. Thursday, we have the Europa League. Interesting. And then, of course, the weekend will be back. And then the roller coaster goes on and on and on and on. So, Brentford are quality side. Fulham are a quality side as well. Look, 2 of the best mid-table sides right about now. They are actually they both sit in the top half. Fulham 7th. Brentford 9th. Brentford have not won a game in their last 2, drawing both of them, but they've won 2 of their last 5 and drawing 3. So they've not lost a game in the last 5. Fulham have lost 1 in the last 5, winning 2 and drawing 2 as well. So both of them are quite in fine form. This one is where they easily cancel themselves out, isn't it? Brentford 1, Fulham 1. I see another draw for Fulham. Maina Solomon to score and Brian Buemo to score for Brentford. That is my weekend preview and weekend predictions. This is how the Premier League stands as we enter the weekend, match day 26. Arsenal on top of the table, Manchester City, Man United, Spurs, Newcastle, and Liverpool. And of course, at the bottom end, Southampton, Bournemouth, and Everton. I'll see you right in the next one. Hit the like button for me, subscribe. A couple of previews will be dropping on the channel and a couple of match reactions will be dropping on the channel as well.